KBM, we finesse your finance. Sit down cause your money's got no bands. Be careful when you're out chasing that paper. Come to us and we'll make your money safer. Yo, we give that knowledge and...
But what about school?
Oh my gosh.
School does not help. All it does, well, I mean,
You learn about money like once in year 2.
Wait, one at a time, because this one seems like it's got a few.
I think school only helps in like trying to like. Wait, who's talking? Someone's talking.
Duke talking.
What? Oh, wait, what? Anyways, yeah, school. I think school just helps like, what's it called, like, just like graduating out of it. You know, going to like college, university. It doesn't help like getting you money. You know what I mean? I feel like that's for like university. Obviously, I don't know because I'm still in second year, but I don't know. I think so.
Anyone else want to say anything?
To say, unless you're doing business, then forget about it. Do you understand? Like the people you're around, the different people, like everyone's got their people start like earning their different ways of money from early. Like as early as year 8, I saw people start choosing like going down the wrong path of like selling like drugs or fraud or different kind of things there. But school, as I said, unless you're doing business will show you, you know, kind of shine some light on money and how, you know, it will shine a bit of light on it. But the different kind of bodies you have around you most of the time, so your friends, it won't always be the right people to have around you when it comes to like money.
No word though, I hear that.
Yeah. But could I say something?
Go on.
Yeah, for me, I actually did, so I can testify to what Joel said. I did business studies. I didn't do it in secondary school, but I did it in sixth form. And I'm gonna be real, there was an aspect of managing finance that we did do, but it was for managing business finance. But to be honest with you, it was very, very advanced stuff. And I'm actually good at maths. So actually, I wasn't really invested into this first year of college either, actually, so I can't really talk. But we were doing quite a lot of advanced stuff. And me being someone who's obviously been working for 18 months now, and I feel I've managed my money really well, which is why I'm in the position I'm in now. But the things that they taught us in college, generally, it didn't really, it wasn't something I could translate because it was all this advanced stuff that didn't really matter. Maybe it's going to matter when I'm running my business for all I know. It probably will, to be honest. But to be real with you, all I really need to know is obviously the stuff that KBM goes through, the fact that money is energy, the money mentalities people have, the money personalities, and then read the whole of Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's all I needed to be able to know. And then people obviously telling me, okay, save this amount of money, save this amount of percentage. It doesn't, people overcomplicate it, and that's why I think it does confuse people in school when they go over stuff like this, because some stuff is just overcomplicated when it doesn't need to be, and then it becomes saturated, and then people don't listen because it's too much information to retain. But just saying, okay, this, that, assets, liability, then people will know how to manage money, sorry. And there are teachers in school. I didn't have a teacher that told me how to manage money, but I know there are teachers out there that generally do care about young people and will teach them that, but some of them just don't care, to be real with you.
What? So have you got like millions in your bank account?
Jared, man, come on, man.
Bro, bro.
Not yet. Give me 11 years. Give me 11 years.
Amen.
No one else want to add? One thing I will say from what I've seen and what I remember from school and stuff, and what I'm seeing at the moment, and I touched on this on the weekend as well when I was talking on another podcast, was schools are set up to, in some ways, to make you go and work for someone. You know, they don't teach you enough to go on how to go and work for yourself, how to build your own business. And then you got your business study teacher who's teaching you from a book. Not teaching it because he's got his own business and saying this is how I grew it. You haven't got no Steve Jobs coming to go and teach you how to do business, because unfortunately those people are not teachers for school children. They might go and do some mentorship or something like that outside of it, but they're charging like 100,000 per class for things like that. But in schools, unfortunately, they'll give you a foundation of how, based on their limited knowledge that they've learned from a book. Some might have their own business on the side, but it's not the big one that you're looking to get that might change people's lives in that way, kind of thing. So a lot of it you have to learn outside of school, unfortunately, at the moment, until KPM starts doing some schools.
Amen.
But for now, it's not happening, unfortunately, from what I remember. But yeah, there needs to be. I think it's set up to not teach you about too much things. It's easy to keep you keep you in a bubble until you get to the age where you're coming out and then you got to learn how to manage money. You're like, rah, why am I doing advanced mathematics and I don't know how to pay my rent?
Or 3D trigonometry and that, like, the hell? Pythagoras theorem and that, like, A squared and stuff. What the hell?
Pythagoras theorem, I ain't used it once.
And it expanding brackets, simplify it, expanding brackets.
Depends on the job.
I've also heard I was just gonna say I've also heard, and I've been like brought up like to think school is like, it's like prison if you think about it. You've got certain times of things, you know, it's just you're being told what to do all the time. There's different kind of things, and it's similar to prison in a way. It's a system, and everyone just goes through the system the same way, and like at the end you probably just end up with a normal 9 to 5 just like everyone else. Like everyone just goes through the same system and doesn't realize it. But you know, most people, you're just going to, you know, you're going to come into the earth, go through the school system, get a job, you're going to die, you know, and your name won't really come up again. Do you understand? Like it's you got to do something different to then be remembered. Like you're just gonna, as I said, it's just a system, and I just don't want to be the same. Like, no, it's not the life for me, really.
I hear that. Definitely, 100%. Jaden, I think you got your hand up.
Yeah, can I just say about how schools, obviously your statement, what you said about how school's similar to a prison. I understand that not everyone has, you know, a great experience with school. I didn't have a good experience with school. You know, I had a few conflicted views towards it, but I genuinely think it really depends on how you approach it, the subject you take, and how much you enjoy it. Because obviously my father, he enjoyed school, whereas me, I didn't really enjoy secondary school as much as he did. You know, I think it really depends on your environment and what environment you're in and your interests. And right now I go to college and I'm studying subjects that where it requires me to create things. You know, I'm able to be creative and I'm enjoying it. I don't feel like I'm in jail. I feel like I'm at a place where I can get my qualifications as well as doing something that I want to do. So it's a win-win. It really depends on what environment you're in and how interested you are towards your subject, how you approach your subjects at school. Because if you don't enjoy it, then you're not going to have a good experience. And obviously, yeah, it's going to feel like jail. And I say that as a metaphor because it's going to be unpleasant. It's going to be hell. But I'd say it really depends on your environment and your interest in it. Because if you're not interested in something, then you're not going to enjoy it. So of course it's going to feel like jail.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
understand where you're coming from, though.
100.
Definitely. Anyone else want to touch on it before we move on to the next bit?
Yeah, even with the school, like I feel like the school system, it does. I feel like Matt kind of touched on. It does kind of prepare you. It sets you up in a certain way to go through the system, to get a good job, to get good grades, get a good job, and yeah, that's it. You're out into the real world. But it's only when you get into the real world where you actually realize, like, oh my days, everything I learned at school now, how am I gonna apply it into the real world? And I feel like school actually produces robot babies that you're just taught to go through the system and clock in, clock out. But the people, then their mind is not ready for the real world. That is why when people go to university, they go through the school system. In fact, they go to university and they still don't even have a clue about what they want to do after. But that's because the school system just said, oh, study math, study English, and these are the ones you have to study. Well, some students don't even enjoy those subjects at all whatsoever. So then the school system makes you feel like, oh, because I'm not good at these subjects, or because
my passion isn't for these subjects, grades will then call that, because the grades you get as a student, they will then qualify you as someone that's not smart and someone who belongs in a bottom set. And then you go through your life thinking, okay, I'm not worth not, because the school system said I'm not worth anything as well. And it's like when people get to university now, they don't know how to manage their money. They go and spend their first student loan on a Canada Goose coat, and then end up for the rest of the month on Indomie or pot noodles. And these are real life situations. This happens. If you go on YouTube, these are the same story type that people are telling you, because it's true. The school system didn't prepare them. Their parents didn't prepare them. Their environment didn't prepare them, and it's unfortunate. So sometimes you have to say, okay, yes, the school is made for the working world, but if I don't want to do that, then how can I actually seek advice outside of school? How can I get tangible knowledge, not just textbook knowledge? And unfortunately, the school hasn't provided us with that. So then you have to look elsewhere for those things, and we can't rely on the school, because we've seen time and time again that they failed us as a community. They failed so many people and so many young people, and their lives are just fruits of that, the school system. So yeah, I think it's time we start thinking a little bit different now.
100%, 100%. I love that.
For real.
Jonas, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, as Adam, like following on from the amazing points that Adam just made there, I was somebody that was in bottom set in quite a few of my subjects in school. And when I do tell, sorry?
Nah, it's the same here.
Yeah, bro, yeah. So, and generally, when I tell a lot of people this, even because I did my apprenticeship in a school, when I tell the teachers I was in bottom set for like science and maths and stuff like that, and they, even though I was getting slick grades, they wouldn't put me up. The teachers can't believe that someone like me was in bottom set, because they're like, you've got so many better skills than the people your age, and people that are, some people that are even older than you, some people that are even adults. But it's like school isn't, and even they say school just wasn't for you. It just wasn't for you. Just following, like being, I'm not the type of, I'm not good with strict things to do. I'm more of a flexible person with what I do. I'm more flexible. I can't have someone telling me every minute to be doing something, because then I'll be like, not in a cocky way, but I'm kind of the CEO of my life. Like at the end of the day, I'm gonna die by my sword, not yours. So following your instructions all day and every day, I kind of want to live my life and have fun doing it. So it was never, that's always been the case for me as a person. But I must say that in general, Jaden's right about what he said about going to school and doing subjects that you do enjoy, because that will make your time a lot better. Because even, for example, you may be going to school and you hate the subjects, but you enjoy your peers. That's not going to do enough for you. At the end of the day, when it gets down and dirty and it's time for the exams, if you're not doing something you enjoy, then you're barely going to revise. So that's the thing of it too. And that's why Jaden goes to music college and he does what he wants to do. And he's loving it, because me and him speak about this. He's loving it, and I'm proud of him for what he's been able to do. Because not a lot of young people get that experience. So it's just great to see that there have been platforms like Music College and places like Elam, the Brits, who are providing opportunities for creative young people to be able to thrive. Because a lot of people that, like me and Jaden, that like the creative industries, we seem to get left behind because we're not the type of people that enjoy the maths, the Englishes, the sciences. But seeing that there are schools being created and also extracurricular clubs as well, it's stuff that's serving our young people quite well. And I feel that the government really need to put more money into it and funding into it, because that's what's something that can, our generation doesn't need saving, but if they're saying we need quote unquote saving, that's something that could aid us.
100%, and I'm the same as you, man, in terms of like having a system, and if someone telling me, oh, you got to do this at this time and stuff like that, I've never done well in situations like that. So even when I go to work and I go for a new job or something, one of the things that I ask is like, how is the structure set up for the day? Like, is it like, is someone going to be watching me the whole day, telling me you used to do this at this time? I don't work well like that, and I think that's what happened with me at school. Like, for you guys who do know, I left school after I did my GCSEs. I think I did the first year of A levels. After that first year of A levels, can't lie, I said I did the first year of A levels. I didn't go to many of the classes. I missed it because I didn't like the way the school system was and everything like that. But then after that, I went into the apprenticeship, same as Anthony as well. Did the same, but it's not designed for everyone. But I do hear like you said, if you're putting in, you get you get what you're putting into it, sort of thing. So if you give it 100%, you should get something out of it as well. But then if you want to do more, like you were saying, Jonas, you can go to things like the music college as well, and they're promoting things like that now as well, because they're understanding that everyone learns in a different way, and there's more to life than just like, you know, like, I don't know about you guys, but I got African parents, man. Like when we was first growing up, they're not as strict now, but when we was first growing up, they were strict, telling me that you had to be this, that, or the other. You only had like 3 or 4 options, but now things have started changing, and they know there's more than that. You can do other things now. But Jonas, you want to touch on one thing before we move on?
Yeah, just a little thing as well. I forgot to even mention this, which this was the original point that I wanted to raise, and it's that I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to say anything and it's not true, but I think Adam said that school kind of sets you up to be baby robots and to just go with the flow of the rat race. Is that true, Adam, that you said that? Cool, yeah, cool. So for me personally, the amount of people that have said to me, oh, Jonas, they'll be like, Jonas, what do you want to do after this? And I'll say, I want to start my business. I want to work for myself. And they'll be like, oh, be realistic, or you can't do that, Jonas. And I'm just like, you need to understand that I'm not the type of person that will say, oh, okay, maybe I should go do another 9 to 5. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to put more work into that business. So then you see, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that to another student, because that could make them not have the same motivation that Jonas had. That could actually crush their dreams, because sometimes the salary that you get is a bribe for you to sell your dreams away. I'm just going to be real. There are people I know that are adults that have sold their dreams away for a fixed salary that isn't even that much money, and they tell me, Jonas, don't do that. You've got too much potential to do that. Even happened today. Someone told me that. Just, it needs to stop, to be honest, because a lot of people are saying stuff like, oh, you can't do this to a young person, you can't do that, or just play it safe, you know, jobs are secure. If you run your business right, it can be even more secure than the 9 to 5. Just do what you want to do, because if you're enjoying it and you're passionate about it, then I'm sure you'll run it well, and I'm sure it will go well for you.
Yeah, but you know what? Do you know why people do that? Do you know why people do that? Because they're basically limiting you on their levels.
Exactly. Yeah.
So someone come up to you and say, "Oh, yeah, that's not going to work," because it wouldn't work for them, because they don't have it in them to make that work. So what they do is they put their insecurities onto you, and too many people do that, and that's why you got to be focused, and like you got to be very strong-minded to continue doing it regardless of everyone around you. And that's why, even though I don't agree with it's too tough, but that's why a lot of people will say, oh, if you want to go somewhere, do it quietly and go alone. And I think one of the reasons they say that, I think anyway, is that if you go alone, then you won't have people in your ear all the time telling you can't do it. So that's the good thing about it. But the reason I don't agree with that is because if you have the right support bubble around you, then you can go to places with them. You can go to a high level with them, because they'll be telling you the right things.
Yeah, exactly.
So instead of telling you can't do this, they'll be giving you constructive criticism, saying, "Oh, this might not work because of this, but why don't you try that?" Or like, "Have you thought about this sort of thing?" Those kind of things are good, because they're not telling you don't do it. They're not telling you you can't do it or whatever like that.
KBM, we finesse your finance. Sit down, cause your money's got no bands. Be careful when you're out chasing that paper. Come to us and we'll make your money safer. Yo, we give that knowledge and